students.
So if they could invest more time, as there are also voices from parents who would say that theatre shouldn't have such an importance.
I think you get that with it. It's just student parents will complain about the time kids play with soccer, but theatre is probably one of the greatest models of holistic education you could possibly offer.
What can you get out of theatre?
Well,
if you learn it at school, but not with the goal that you want to be.
Because theatre presents a student with what I would call high definition moments in their education. The moment before, for somebody like Laura or Sandy or Moritz, Miguel, they are remembering probably over 1,000 things. They are putting together a pattern of 1,000 different responses in the course of 2.5 hours. That is a huge challenge. It's not simply an intellectual challenge, although it is a profound intellectual challenge. It's also a physical challenge. It's also when you're dealing with issues, it's an issue, it's a moral issue too, because it deals with holding a nerve, being strong enough to do it. The definition moment before you step on stage in front of lights, in front of 300 people who are expect something from you, that definition moment is what education is about. It's really high-pitched education, concentrated, dynamic education that spills over in terms of the confidence that students gain about themselves, their greater awareness of their own identities, their understanding that they can interact with people of the opposite gender in a mature and considered way. It's just phenomenal, the personal development that can happen as a result of theatre. The generosity that's necessary to act in an ensemble, which is a very fundamental part of the ethical basis of theatre in the creative arts program here, and in the theatre, any of the performing arts departments, any of the arts departments. This notion of the ensemble, this notion of an ethic of generosity, the notion that you can't do anything without somebody else, the notion that the people who are working in the crew, or the people who are working backstage, or the people who are designing or sewing for the costume, all those people are absolutely fundamental to allowing you to do that. And you have a responsibility to do it as well as you can for those people, as well as for yourself. And if you don't do it well, the person who's acting with you is also going to be compromised. That's a phenomenal amount of responsibility. That's what education is about. It's also about passing examinations, but if you go through experiences like this, systemically through your time in a school like this, and if you push yourself against the great works of art, great works of literature that we can facilitate for students, then you're going to be entering an exam room with a very, very strong conception of yourself as an individual, but more importantly, you're going to be entering life with a very strong conception of yourself as an individual. And that's what we are dedicated, not simply to producing people who pass examinations. We're dedicated to produce balanced, healthy, open-minded people who have a critical, a very creative view of life. That's what theatre can do. It can't do it on its own, but it certainly can accompany the other things that are designed to do that as well. So I would say to parents that, just as I haven't ever wasted a moment of my life in a rehearsal, I doubt very much the students have either. And if they are wasting the time in rehearsal, they're not being rehearsed properly.